Before we get started on Witches and Weebs, let us cleanse our spaces of negative energy with a protection mantra said by Space and finished by me, Baji.
If you are positive, you better bless this space. If you are negative, you better get up out my face. If you are positive, you better bless this space. If you are negative, you better get up out my face. If you are positive, you better bless this space. If you are negative, you better get up out my face.
Period. That mantra always makes me shake my ass in my seat.
Throw the dumpy of blessing.
Y'all don't be throwing y'all dumpies? Because I be throwing my dumpies.
I'd be throwing my dumpies. I'm the one doing the fucking beat. I have to. Otherwise, I can't keep a beat.
I've been doing like Tina does in Bob's Burgers, just breaking my back in my seat.
Look, y'all can do that. I don't feel right doing that while holding my grandmother's bell.
I will do it.
Right.
Holding.
That's fair.
I'll do it. Give me the bell.
You are not.
I'm pretty sure your grandma would. I'm pretty sure your grandma Mia would be down with it.
No, she wouldn't. She'd look at me like, "What are you doing?" Because you know she's a Southern belle. Okay, you don't know, but she's a Southern belle. So she'd be like,
never mind.
"Oh,
Southern belle. Should I
never
start
mind.
speaking with this accent?
Bless your
all through
soul."
the episode?
The funny
Bless
part
your
is they're all
soul,
freaks
sweetheart.
behind closed doors. All the Southern people.
I'd rather not think about my granny conceiving with my grandpa. Thank you for that.
That is staying in the episode. Okay.
All right. This episode is about, what is it about? I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Welcome to Witches and Weebs, where otaku and spirituality come together. Our mission is to build a community using the mysterious and fascinating craft of witchcraft and spirituality and connecting it with fandom culture. I am Azauri. You can call me Mia. You can call me Ari. You can call me brown, blue, purple, whatever. And I'm joined today by my wonderful witches.
Hello, everybody. I am Baji, otherwise known as your favorite trickster demon, Baji on Twitch. I am the elder of the circle, which shall become apparent in our first section.
And I'm Space.
I'm
Nice
Space.
I'm Space. I'm your chaotic witch that never knows what the fuck is going on. That's it.
Oh, felt.
Also, Mia, I forgot to write you an introduction, so you're
Who
gonna have
cares?
to win this shit.
It's fine. Today's topic is Samhain and Halloween. We are going to be talking about its history. We're going to be talking about traditional Samhain. We're going to do a Samhain ritual, and then we're going to go into modern Halloween, compare it to how Samhain used to be, see how they absolutely weathered it down and watered its history, muddled it. But, you know, that's what we're here for. We're here to grasp at its roots, bring it back up, and educate you all about what Halloween used to be before it became Halloween.
Yes.
I don't ever need to write her another introduction a day in my life.
You never did!
I know, right?
You
Why
never
did you ever read the shit that I wrote?
Today's topic is Samhain and Halloween.
Dude, why she ever read anything I wrote her, I don't know, because I was beautiful. I was sitting here with, like, my mouth open, just like, what the fuck?
I was an improv theater kid.
Dude, that was great.
I actually wasn't.
Oh my god. And I believed her.
I was a theater kid, but in a very weird
I was
theater group.
never a theater kid. I wanted to be a band kid so bad, but it
God,
never
I hated
happened.
being a band kid.
I was the band kid. I tried to be a theater kid, but I was never very good at it because I think I was very autistic without knowing it.
It is what it is.
Which is funny because that should have made me a better... I think it's just because I was bullied. So I never really got into my own skin.
I was the band kid, but I refused to learn how to read notes in music, so I just did the lazy path and went percussion.
That's fair. I played the clarinet up until 9th grade, and then they gave me a big fat baritone saxophone, and I fell in love with it.
I play piano.
Anyway, back to the actual thing.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right. All right. Halloween. Samhain. Samhain?
Yes.
Yay.
All right. So first things off, we are going to be starting with the traditional celebration of Samhain, as well as a Samhain ritual between us, the circle here. And you are free to join along with us if you'd like. It is as simple as setting up a altar of some sort with a candle and either items that remind you of those we have lost, photographs, just something that signifies your lost loved ones. Because Samhain is traditionally a time when the veil is lifted, the world of the Fae, the world of the dead, and the world of the living all sort of merge together. I say veil, but like veils don't really exist. It's all based on your mentality. It is the time when those worlds are the closest together, of a sort. It is also known as a witch's Sabbath, and the time of celebration at the end of harvest. So lots of things happening in here, all in Celtic origin, all just a very big part of Celtic history and their celebrations and culture. So yes, it's a big deal. It's sort of it's the first in the four major of their holidays.
And what are the other three?
The other three are the summer and winter solstice, and I actually forget what the fourth is. But yeah, it's Samhain, Samhain. Sorry. Wow, I just used the bastardized language. I'm banished. Wow. Well, I'm going to go take my banishment. I'll see you all in about 40 years.
I can't believe Baji's fucking dead.
Oh my god, I cannot. That was great. Perfect.
I'm going to retreat to the mountains. But yes, it is the Samhain and both solstices, as well as one other, which I forget because I did not research that one.
So we have the summer solstice, the fall equinox. Okay, which other? So I think this would be considered Imbolc, Bethane. Oh, goodness, I could never pronounce this name if I even tried. And Samhain are the four that you're talking about, because there's the four equinoxes as well.
Yes.
Okay. There's one other that I can't pronounce the name of. I'm so sorry. You're just gonna have to deal with it for right now.
That is okay.
Oh, I can't wait to do a Yule episode. That just dawned on me.
Oh my god. Okay, you know what's funny? Me and my husband were talking about Samhain, and then he's like, do you really want to know what I want to try and celebrate? I'm like, what? He's like, Yule, because he has Norse roots. So he wants to embrace his Norse
Well, then this
heritage.
is great.
Yeah, that's honestly
Because this is
awesome.
all Celtic. The Witches' Circle is pretty much Celtic. This would be great for him to get involved with.
So,
Oh my god. Oh my god, Yule episode with your husband featured guest.
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not.
He wouldn't even know what to do. We're going to have 10 minutes of silence of just him when we ask him a question.
He needs 10 to 12 business days to think of an answer.
No, literally. So what do you think about Yule? What are you interested? Literally.
Wow, I just became that girl from The Grudge real quick. Just
A little bit. Not only one of the scariest movies I've ever watched in my life.
The Grudge?
Swear on God, yes. But I watched it when I was like 13. I shouldn't have been watching it for one.
well,
I've been watching all kind of movies I should not have. Yeah, true. What? But never mind.
Funny you should mention horror as well as spooky stories, spooky movies, as those are actually kind of part of the tradition of Samhain.
Yes, I love.
So traditional ways to celebrate Samhain, I'll go from like the minor ones that everybody can just sort of do in their everyday life to things that are special to the season, as it were. So things like telling ghost stories, watching scary movies, absorbing spooky media. Those are actually originally started out in that culture to scare negative spirits or bad spirits and bad energies away from you. People used to gather around the bonfires at night, and they would swap these stories of ghosts, goblins, wolfmen, fairies taking people away in the night, and that was meant to, the fear that you put into the story was meant to ward off fear from and bad energy from coming to you. That's also kind of where the tradition of costumes and donning masks came from, is to either hide from negative spirits or to scare them away. And of course,
taking notes.
The version we got now.
Yep, and I will be going over some of those when we talk about modern Halloween.
Yes. As far as spirits themselves are concerned, you have your ancestor spirits, the spirits of those in your family or friends who have sadly departed. People would used to light what is called a 7-day candle, or a candle that marked out the days as it burns, by their window as a way of showing them the light outside, or showing them a way to pass on through window ledges and things of that nature. This eventually developed into placing candles outside the doorstep and lighting them at the beginning of each night and letting them burn out. If your candle was still lit in the morning, that means your spirit still needed a little bit of time at home before they passed on. If your candle was extinguished by morning, that means your spirit has gone its way. This is where jack-o'-lanterns and things of that nature came from. And that's where, if you've ever seen a little horror movie called Trick or Treat, one of the first traditions is, if you light a jack-o'-lantern on Halloween, you're supposed to let it burn out. You're not supposed to blow out the candle in it.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I learned something new today.
Yeah.
I also learned something new today. I thought you were supposed to blow that shit out.
Now we're getting into a bit of the witchier traditions. You have what is known as the Dumb Supper. And many Irish and Scottish Celts appease their dead with a traditional Dumb Supper. On Samhain Eve, supper was served in absolute silence, and one place was set at the head of the table for the ancestors. The place was served food and drink without looking directly at the seat, for to see the dead would bring misfortune. Afterwards, the untouched plate and cup were taken outside for the pukas, or the fae, and left in the woods. In other traditions, this is the night to remember, honor, and toast our beloved departed, for the veil between the living and the dead is thin, and communication is possible on Samhain Eve.
I please ask for all these notes to be put into the document, because I want them.
No problem.
Thank you.
You guys also know the black cat thing as well, yes?
Yep.
By the way, if you celebrate Halloween and you adopt a black cat around then for your costume, do not do that. Take care of the animals you bring into your lives. They are not props, they are pets.
They are
or you
familiars.
can bring them to me.
Yes.
I have one. He's orange and stupid. Nice.
I have a little black cat who's not actually little, kind of pudgy.
Be a big boy.
Mine is just orange and dumb.
But yes, animals and food supplies needed special protection during this time too. Samhain marked the time cattle, on which the Scottish Highland economy depended, were brought in from summer grazing to the winter fold. The gods were petitioned to protect the cattle during the long, hard winter, and by now the winter store of food had been harvested and stored. So this was more than just a celebration of ancestors, this was a celebration of the end of harvest times, when the fields would rest and the cattle was brought in for the winter.
I did actually know that part. That's one of the things I learned during my own research. And I kind of love that everything follows just the seasons. Like, none of the regular holidays, like, ever felt quite right. Even I love Halloween, and that was always one of my favorites. And it's one of the only holidays that actually falls on its proper day of a celebration.
Yes.
So, I was wondering if that's one of those kind of things.
And then finally, we have the Witches' Sabbath itself. Samhain is also the night of the Great Sabbath for witches, or Ban Druid in Scots Gaelic. On Hallowmas, all the witches of Scotland gather together to celebrate, prophecy, and cast their spells. Tradition has it that on this night they can be seen flying through the air on broomsticks and eggshells, or riding black cats, ravens, or horses on their wild Halloween ride, basically making up the Wild Hunt. The rural people did not dare step outside their doors for fear of this night. Some say the Queen of Witches is the Irish Morrigan. You know, Morgan Le Fay. In other traditions, the blue-faced Hag of Winter, the Cailleach, rules this night.
Halia. That's
I can't wait to do an episode about her.
The blue-faced Hag of Winter is very cool, honestly.
I want to do episodes about deities, though, like individual episodes about major deities and all their different iterations.
Well, we can
Across.
do Mystic Mondays with that.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, that's a whole series we can go through. Because, like, dissertation as well as how they evolve through time based on necessity is a really cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, especially because how, let's take fucking the one we know for real. Hermes, how he was actually Thoth in Egyptian mythology and throughout history evolved into Hermes. Like, it's documented.
Yep. There's even before between those two, Hermes actually did not exist to the Mycenaean Greeks. Pan did, and then Pan turned into Hermes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it goes from there's a bunch of different breakdowns. I'm pretty sure it doesn't go straight from Thoth to Pan to Hermes. I think there's a couple other iterations that go through, but that would be fun to do is deity breakdowns.
Yes.
Because also, because even if you don't want to work with deities, you could still call on deities for your spell work and stuff, so.
Yes. Speaking of spell work, I think we can go in with our traditional ritual here. So before the stream, I asked my two lovely sister witches here if they would set up their altar with either photos of their loved ones or mementos and reminders of them if they had departed. As well as a place setting, in Mia's case. I'm not sure if Space copied that as well.
I did not, because I already have a nice little setup above my altar that's been cleaned up and ready for Samhain for a couple days.
Completely fine. I've set up my own place setting here, as well as we all lit a candle before recording. So, sisters, I'm going to ask you to extinguish your candle for me for this ritual.
And extinguished. I get to use my nice little candle snuffer.
Why it took me like 4 blows to blow these candles out? That's crazy. Don't ever let me near birthday cake. I will disappoint you.
But yes, part of the Samhain is conducting rituals as well as writing out new spells that you are going to use in the coming year. It's essentially making your blessing for the year after the harvest.
Shit.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
So-
I didn't know that.
So I wrote a little something up for us, and I also asked these two to write out a few lines to remember those that we have lost and wish to send a message to, as it were. So, let's begin. O ancestors, hear us, those of recent and long past. From great to humble, we open our circle tonight. With changing of moons and leaves, with harvest and resting soil, we offer tonight what we may, a memory of that which was. Space, would you care to read your message?
Give me 1 second. I didn't realize that we were supposed to. I didn't hear that question. May the light of our shared history guide and illuminate our path. In your wisdom we find strength, and in your love we find inspiration. With gratitude in our hearts, we honor and bless our ancestors, forever cherished in our memories and hearts.
Mia, would you care to read your blessings?
I didn't write one because I rather would just say it as I go. That way it feels more personal for me.
Very well.
To my ancestors, my spirits, my guides, my loved ones, I present to you a homecoming. One that will fill us all with joy, happiness, memories that bound us together, and everything that we've cherished, everything that we've held dear and held close, will be shared amongst all of us together as one.
Grandparents of both trees, I thank you for your love. Cousin gone too soon, I hope you found your peace. Ancestors, forgotten and remembered, you are always here for us, and I thank you for your strength. My sisters, I will ask you to light your candle once more.
One day. One day. Ah, there we go.
I'm trying to be over here all serious. One day.
It wasn't cooperating. It was burning my finger before it touched the wick.
With wine and song, with love and celebration, gather near and let the cold winds be warmed. Feather, leaf, bone, and root, take to them now, and let our hearth burn strong. Thank you, ancestors.
Thank you, ancestors.
Thank you, ancestors and gods. Woo! I like that.
And those of you who joined us in this ritual, whether post-recording or if this is a new year for you, we ask that you light your candle and remember your ancestors as well. Alrighty, that was our ritual done. With these candles lit, feel free to, at the end of the night, place them on your windowsill and allow your spirits to be guided home.
I'm definitely going to do that because I have a windowsill right here.
I would love
Perfect.
to do that, but I don't trust my cat to not knock over this candle.
That's fair as fuck.
That is valid.
Definitely don't let the cat burn down your house.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
That is not candle safety.
With safety, put them on your windowsill.
Remember, kids, critical thinking.
I like that.
Or simply leave your jack-o'-lantern lit at the end of the night when you go to bed.
That is a very good point since he's outside. He'll be fine. Now with that done, we can start getting into the history, right? Right?
Of course.
All right. Samhain is, like we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, it is Celtic, and it dates back thousands of years. The exact history isn't really known because, Christians did their thing and destroyed records. Ta-da! As they do. However, Samhain is believed to have been celebrated by the Celts in what is now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and parts of France as well. That was new. I knew only about Ireland and the Celts in the United Kingdom. Samhain marked the end of a harvest festival, as Baji had started, and the beginning of winter. It is a significant seasonal and agricultural festival for the Celtic people, and its observation can be traced back to the Iron Age, making it over 2,000 years old. The festival's exact practices and significance may have varied over time and across different Celtic regions as well as practices. Samhain is closely tied to Celtic religious and spiritual beliefs, including the idea that during this time the veil is thinner. As Celtic lands were gradually Christianized, some of the customs and traditions associated with Samhain were incorporated into Christian holidays, such as All Hallows Eve or Halloween, and All Souls Day, which is, I believe, November 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
This blending of traditions eventually gave rise to the modern day of Halloween. Although the origins of Samhain are ancient, it is its exact date of inception is challenging to determine due to the lack of written records as well as destroyed records. Unfortunately, there is not very much history written out per se. Some documents mention 6 days of drinking, some mention 3 days of drinking, but there's always drinking. Early text presents Samhain as a mandatory celebration lasting 3 days and 3 nights where the community was required to show themselves to local kings and chieftains. Failure to participate was believed to result in punishment from the gods, usually illness or death. Again, other documents say 6 days of drinking alcohol to excess, typical of mead or beer.
Celts partied hard.
Celts always partied hard. If there was an excuse to party, they were partying. There's influence from Druids. The Druids.
Druidic culture.
Yes, the priestly class of the Celts played a significant role in the rituals and traditions of Samhain. They conducted the ceremonies, made offerings to the gods, and acted as intermediaries between the living and the spiritual world. So, that is about the history that's available, unfortunately. Thanks to Christian.
Thank you, Vatican.
Lamau.
And to be honest, I don't even think they destroyed all of it. I'm sure they got some in that library. 100%.
Good luck finding it.
Didn't. They still have the original copy of the Lesser Key of Solomon, but I still want to read it. It's a curse book. I want to read it.
Oh, I want to read that. I would give anything to read that kind of shit. Oh, I would give anything to spend a day in that library. Anything.
Look, if you tell me the history of a book was written by a monk who went insane and wrote out the rituals for summoning demons as well as their full descriptions and kingdoms, yeah, I want to read that.
Unfortunately, so we don't have all that much information in terms of the history, but Baji did a great job on the traditions. There is still a lot of word to mouth. I don't know English.
It's moved on through the witches' tellings or the witches' news, where it developed as a family/village culture, and it was never really written down or recorded. It's evolved with the people who needed it.
So, I'm excited to introduce it to my life, though.
Exactly. So, that is the history, or what we have of the known history of Samhain. Mia, would you care to tell us about the modern Halloween and its differences?
All right. So basically, yeah, we covered the history that we could.
How did we fuck it up? How did we fuck it up?
Yeah, pop culture, actually. So, we're just gonna talk about basic traditions, quote unquote, of modern Halloween, and the biggest one is probably trick-or-treating. So, the origins of trick-or-treating stem from the end of harvest season during Samhain. People believe that fairies and spirits would roam the earth during the festival, and so to appease the spirits, the community offered them food and sweets. And in addition to that, soul cakes were baked during All Souls Day in medieval Europe and given to the poor in exchange for prayers for deceased souls, which was also a ritual called souling. The concept of trick-or-treating began to surface in North America during the early 20th century, around the 1920s to 1930s. Halloween became a community celebrated holiday with parades and parties, and it wasn't until then that the practice of going door to door for sweets spread widely. So the phrase trick-or-treat highlights the tradition's mischievous and playful nature, and in America, it gained popularity during post-World War II baby boom, that if children weren't given treats, then they would play pranks on the homeowner. So that kind of stemmed now with toilet papering a house, throwing eggs out windows, or whatever kids do. I've never seen it. but
I've seen it once.
it's a lot. I've seen it a lot in movies mostly. I've never seen it like in person.
Eggs or TP?
Both.
I've participated in tricking, but it was a very light form.
I've seen it's more common in like suburban white areas.
Oh.
Because people
That makes
do
sense,
it
then.
people will do it among their like high school. You have to have like trees in your yard. So if you didn't grow up in that kind of area, then yeah, you're not gonna see it. Like you have to to get TP'd, you have to have like a yard and be like,
We have yards and trees, but no one would ever be bold enough to do that from where I come from.
I was about to say, it's very hard to trick an apartment complex.
I was in a house.
It also has to do a lot. Like people do it among their friends. It wasn't really tricking. Like this would be like the high school squad. Okay, the cheerleaders are gonna get the cheerleaders are gonna get the footballers. Shit like that.
Listen, nobody better throw no egg at my house. Nobody better toilet paper. No trees in my house. Because
the difference is the kids would come back. At least in my grandmother's. Okay, I didn't live in the. Hold up, wait a second. It sounds like I lived in the fucking suburb. No, I lived in the ghetto. Let me be real. But my grandmother lived in the nice area, so I got to visit. I got to see where the nice kids live.
Okay, from like 5th grade to 7th, which is like my trick-or-treating years. Yes, I was trick-or-treating at like 14. Leave me alone.
I still would trick-or-treat. I look 12. I don't care.
But yeah, my form of trick-or-treating from like 5th grade onwards to when I stopped trick-or-treating is even if they gave me treats and I just wanted to like give like a light scare, I was usually in a dark or like all black costume. So I would trick-or-treat them, and then I would move their jack-o'-lanterns. I would not take them off the property, but I would like, oh, it's in the yard. I'm going to put it on their front step and have the face facing their door. So next time they open it, they get a little like jump scare.
Oh, I would do that. Like that. Oh my god, that's so fun.
That's wholesome. That's
so wholesome as fuck, because I would literally, it would make me poop myself, but then I'd have a really good laugh. I'd be like, I definitely didn't put you there.
I also had the friend who wore like the layered costume. Like he has one costume, then he takes off the robe. It's a different costume. And he trick-or-treat the same house like 4 times.
Like, hi, little kid. What a great costume you had. She doesn't know.
Best part is, like, I knew he wore the same thing every year, and every time he took off one costume, it got a little bit worse as the layers came off.
Oh my god. Dude, that's the only time I ever got to trick-or-treat was when I went to my grandmother's, because, like I said, we lived in the ghetto. I was not allowed to treat it. We need to bring back trick-or-treating, because I know for a fact I'm not getting any kids this year. And I want so badly to decorate and to scare kids in my little costume. Except I probably go as like Gojo or some shit like that.
This is something I didn't actually know about that Azauri mentioned here, and that was souling, the practice of giving sweets/food to the homeless in exchange for prayers.
Yep.
I actually really like that practice, and I think I'm going to start participating in that. Not even necessarily for the prayers, but just because it is good to give out more positivity into the world. So just, like, around this fall harvest season, it's getting cold. Feel free to offer some food to those who need it.
To be honest, before I lost my job, I used to give money to any, like, we would buy, like, if they wanted some chips, like, come in, pick something out to eat. If we saw them, like, next to 7-Eleven or something, we'd pay for their food.
That's so sweet. Imagine going trick-or-treating and someone just gives you a big-ass rotisserie chicken.
Yo, that would be dope!
Okay, listen, I want to be the bitch that gives out the big fucking, like, big hunkin' jars of... Let me be the bitch that gives out the big, like, best candy. Big Hershey bars. Don't care.
No whole baby Snickers size. Bar.
No baby size in this house.
I've only been trick-or-treating in the rich neighborhood one time, and we had a house that was just giving out jars of Nutella. Huh? And I'm like, yo!
That's wild.
And then my friend who was with us was just like, I don't even like this. And I stole that out of his hand. I stole it from his hand. I'm just like,
same.
take that. You don't know what you want.
You don't know nothing good in life. You ain't never had a positive nothing. How dare you say I don't even like this shit?
Be grateful that you got anything.
Dude, I was middle class when my grandmother was like middle class. Extra
Let me get a rare class real quick.
But they would like give out full like Coke cans. It was
I thought
awesome.
you said cocaine. Oh my goodness. I'm like, they giving out Coke where you are for Halloween? Are you crazy?
That ain't no middle class. That's rich.
Like, hey, yo, have some cocaine. Okay.
Dude, that's the billionaire class. That's what they give out. You know that shit. That's what they give out.
Yo, I got the platinum credit score on my last 10 pull.
You want some ecstasy, Molly, or cocaine?
I feel like there's neighborhoods that actually do that, and it's kind of scary to think about.
It's called Miami.
Oh,
You're right. It's
Right.
Miami. Everyone in Miami, I'm so sorry if you're offended. My bad.
Meanwhile, the two people in Miami listening to this are just shrugging, like, yeah.
They're
that's
probably
about
like,
par for the course.
It's fair. Just for the record, I've been to Florida.
Listen, Florida man is a different. Thank you, Halloween, for giving us Florida man.
Honestly, Halloween is Florida man's night. Halloween is Florida man's night.
You go high up cocaine and just
live
go fight
for the Florida man
alligators.
stories next day. Live for the Florida man stories that next day.
Okay, we definitely had the ADHD sidetracked.
Listen,
What other modern differences do we have?
it's all Halloween related. It's fine.
We got costumes. The concept of wearing costumes on Halloween was influenced by the history of Samhain, where people believed that the boundary between the living and the dead was thin during the festival, allowing spirits to visit the living, kind of similar to Dia de los Muertos, but not exactly. After doing more research about it, they learned that wearing masks and costume was a way to either confuse or appease the spirits, hence also why it's called trick or treat. It was also believed that dressing in costumes, as Baji said earlier, would either help ward off the spirits, or it also helped disguise them from otherworldly entities that roam the earth. Just like most of whenever modern Halloween began, which was the beginning of the 20th century, in the tradition of souling during All Souls Day, people would dress in costumes that represented saints, angels, or demons, and then go door to door or sing or pray for the souls of the deceased in exchange for food or treats. It became more widespread in the US during that time too. Costumes were made at home most of the time. They were simple, inspired by mythical creatures, ghosts, or popular characters. And as time progressed, the popularity of events like parades and parties grew significantly. It became a tradition that allowed people to express their individuality and creativity, and even offered confidence in attending social events, knowing that they won't be identified by anyone they know. And it gave them the satisfaction of being allowed to step out of their element. And it's also a great way to escape reality for a night and allow yourself to be immersed into the celebration. And it's a fun way to connect with the historical roots of the holiday while embracing modern creativity and the plainness that comes along with it.
That's why it's also known as Gay Christmas.
You're right.
Disclaimer.
Fair.
All three of us are very queer. This is a queer coven here.
Very much so. I miss getting to dress up for Halloween.
I don't think I've ever. I only remember dressing up once, and that was because
then next year that's what we're doing for Samhain.
That's
We're all
okay.
dressing up.
Like,
I
posted pictures of my costume last year.
Any type of costume, that's what we're doing.
Does e-girl count? Because I do e-girl. I do a different flavor of e-girl every year.
Do something cosplay, you butthole.
I don't got cosplay money right now.
Okay, but by next year, you don't know. Could be
Next year,
different.
I know. But this year, I'm going to be an e-girl. What kind of e-girl?
That's fine.
Probably a pastel one. Give me some cat ear headphones, all that good stuff.
That's fine. For this year, you can pull that shit out of your closet, just like the rest of us.
I was a goth e-girl last Halloween, and the Halloween before that, I was an Instagram baddie e-girl. Now I'm going to be a pastel e-girl.
It's actually so fucking funny. You should just keep it going, actually. And just get more cliche as you go. Just more niche.
What is that early 2000 style? What is that called again?
Oh, fuck. Y2K?
Yeah, I'm going to be a Y2K e-girl next year.
Bet.
Yo.
Like, just go super hard.
I'm going to be the Spice Girl, the missing Spice Girl. If you want to be my lover, you got to give me.
Oh, you been my... Okay. Back to...
Like, I definitely sent pictures of, like, my last year's Halloween costume that I did for a party, where, it may be slightly blasphemous to say in this episode, I dressed as Samhain, Spirit of Halloween.
I hate you.
I hate
Girl, you were complimenting my makeup in it.
Your makeup was
talk.
great, but that doesn't mean that it's silly.
I say it's a solid 10 out of 100.
Listen, at least you're not
Ow.
Ghostface
Thank you.
number 3 bajillion.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Alright, back to carving pumpkins.
We didn't even start talking about carving pumpkins yet.
Okay, but that's what we're gonna go back to.
Yes,
Back
we are
to
going
the
to talk about
pumpkins.
another tradition, which is carving pumpkins. The tradition of carving pumpkins started from the Celtic tradition of carving faces into turnips and other root vegetables as lanterns, also referred to as jack-o'-lanterns as we know today. The intention of these lanterns was to ward off evil spirits, just as Europeans used gourds for that same purpose. When the Irish and Scottish brought these traditions to North America, they discovered that pumpkins were readily available and native to the land, and it'd be easier to carve those as jack-o'-lanterns as opposed to searching for turnips, even though you can probably find a market or grow turnips yourself, but they were too lazy to find turnips, so they just was like, okay, let's get some pumpkins. Let's carve some pumpkins. These are cute. I mean, I would also argue that pumpkins are a lot cuter than turnips, so... You know, it is what it is.
Plus, turnips are harder to carve.
I was gonna say
hard.
that's
Listen,
like,
they were
they're
strong
not even
back
hollow.
then. Look, they were strong back then. They could carve some pumpkins. They would probably use wood if they could.
Probably, I guess. Damn.
A widow lantern.
Yo, an engraved jack-o'-lantern sounds pretty cool, actually.
Oh my god. You know what? Just get a laser.
Yeah, that'd be so smart.
Jack-o'-lantern is coined by an Irish folk legend. Oh, I'm so excited to tell the story about a man named Stingy Jack. So, according to the legend, Jack made a deal with the devil, but managed to trick him into preventing his soul from being taken to hell. And when he died, Jack was denied entry into both heaven and hell. So as a result, he roams around the earth carrying a carved turnip as a lantern. Today, they're mostly used as decorations more so than protective wards like how they used to use them in Samhain. And eventually delved into carving faces because of pop culture and artistic expression, all that good stuff.
He said, I'm gonna make this turnip my lantern.
Like, hey y'all, I'm still in
Here's
limbo.
my lantern. Here's
my
my
lantern.
turnip.
How did you trick the devil? That's crazy.
Yeah, I was about to say, imagine being so good of a con man, you can trick the actual devil, but
I'm
so
just saying,
bad of
like-
a con man, you're banished from both forms of the afterlife.
I'm just
got
saying,
him his
like,
turnip.
did we ever say that the devil was smart?
No,
We always said he was charismatic as fuck, but we never said he was smart.
you're right.
He taught Eve critical thinking, so...
Like I said, charming, which that
I
means
feel like that's more common sense than it is intelligence.
Yeah,
But it
like,
does
that
take a
doesn't
little
mean-
level of intelligence to have common sense.
Like, he don't have to be like a good.
My man's a
businessman.
himbo.
Like, he could just get
Himbo
lucky.
Satan.
Himbo Satan!
Oh my god!
I found my next costume idea.
Oh my gosh. Just be him from Powerpuff Girls, that's it.
Oh my god, yes.
Do it.
I would pay
But
money.
I'll be the him from that episode where they accidentally broke into the future.
Ooh, was that the buff him?
Ooh,
Yeah, that was the buff one.
Yeah,
I like
remember
that. Yeah, that's a good one. Speaking of fucking Halloween in media and Satan in media.
Horror movies.
Horror
Yes.
movies!
Horror
Now,
movies.
do you guys have a favorite horror movie?
Ooh.
Or like one that you just go back to watching again and again?
Not really.
I'm not a rewatcher, to be honest. I'm not of horror films,
Yeah.
but I do have horror films that I've loved. I did love the original Saw. I did not love the rest of the Saws.
Yeah.
It's just that there was so much blood.
Yeah.
So much blood.
I do
Me,
like the
myself,
Conjuring movies.
Ooh.
I actually-
Conjuring is good. It depends on the title for me, though.
I did just see the original Nun.
Ooh, that one was okay. I like that one.
I did appreciate it. It was actually very nice. Like, I got invested in one of the characters, so I'd say it's a solid movie. If it can get me invested in one of the characters where I want to see what happens to them, that's a solid movie.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be great writing, just get me invested.
True. Like, The Conjuring has some great titles, but then they also have Annabelle, and Annabelle was such a shit movie.
I've never seen it.
I have not seen it yet, but my friend wants to watch it, actually, so I will let you know on that.
I was laughing at it more than I was actually scared by it.
That's
but
like
I
most horror
definitely,
movies these days.
Yeah, I definitely have
honest-
like a rotating list of favorite horror movies. I'm constantly watching them.
There is one that I have rewatched, actually. Hellraiser.
Ooh,
Oh.
yes.
That is
Hellraiser.
one that I have gone back and rewatched. I will say that.
Are you referring to like the original one from the 80s or the remake one that they
No,
made,
no,
like,
original
a few
one.
years
Original
back?
one. Also, 13 Ghosts. I go back and rewatch that one. I forgot. I lied. There is one. 13
Ghosts
Ghosts.
is on my rotation as well. Like
13
the-
Ghosts.
13 Ghosts, Hellraiser, both the original and the remake. I thought the remake was really well done. I thought the final girl in it was kind of meh, because she caused her own problems literally the whole time.
I am such a stickler. Like, I don't like change. So anytime they remake, I'm like always very... Unless I hear from somebody I know and trust that they liked it, and then I'll look into it. So now I'll look into it.
Right.
Well, it's called a remake, but it's more just like a brand new story. It's a refresh more than a remake.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I would look into it then. I didn't know it was
Yeah,
like that.
It's good. The Chucky movies, those are always good for a fun time because
Oh, yeah.
the Child's Play, the original Child's Play, was the first horror movie I ever watched, and I was 6 years old.
You're wild.
Okay, I actually have never seen Confession. Never seen them.
I
okay.
love them. They're so
I love
silly.
them.
There's a reason for it. It's actually because I don't like those kind of dolls. Those dolls naturally freak me out because of the
Yeah,
uncanny
they're
valley
just a
thing.
freaky Cabbage Patch Kids, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah,
But, like-
I was never a Cabbage Patch person at all.
This is when but yeah, I figured out my fear sensors were broken when I was 6, because I watched that movie, and my brother, who's right behind me, who's a year and a half older than me, is fucking terrified. Meanwhile, 6-year-old me is just watching it going, he's a doll. Sweep kick him by the legs, pick him up by the ankles, and start swinging him into walls.
But
He
he's
can't really
gonna
knife you then.
stab me.
He
Yeah,
can't
but
really
he's
knife
a
you if you
doll.
smack him into a wall.
But what if he comes back and stabs me?
He's a doll.
With a
Tiny
knife?
plastic. He's got tiny plastic hands.
Those hands do some damage.
But yeah, like, Child's Play was a good one. I like to analyze horror movies way too much, so I'm not so much scared of them. It's just like, okay, yeah, I could probably survive it this way or this way or this way. Hellraiser's a good one. One I've started watching and is added to the rotation is less of a horror movie and more of a thriller movie. It's called The Menu, and I just thought that was a really, really good, well-done movie.
I think my husband watched it.
I've never heard of it.
Is that with Ralph Fiennes? And
Yes.
Anya?
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so the premise of the menu is like a group of like high society people are going to this restaurant that's on a private island. The restaurant's the only thing there, and the entire island is set up to provide the freshest, best ingredients for the restaurant. The menu is like set in stone. It's like the best chef in the world composing this menu, and it's like a 5 course meal. And the entire time, the menu is just like an excuse of just like, it's a dining experience. So when shit starts happening, it's all quote unquote part of the menu.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
now I'm kind of interested in watching that.
yeah, actually, I would say watch it. I only ended up watching like the last half because my husband never starts. He never tells me when he starts things, but he like expects me to watch them.
Right.
So I always tune in like halfway through, but it's fine. I can just ask him questions. He doesn't mind.
But yes, with horror movies comes the rest of what is known as Hollywood Halloween, where like the scares are still there. And if you look really, really closely, you can find some traditions, but for the most part, it's been popularized and bastardized. So, do you guys see anything like a resurgence coming back of these traditional ways, these traditional cultural celebrations, or do you think we're going to get worse from there?
I think with this upcoming generation that we might be fine. There's a lot more resurgence in the interest of spirituality and witchcraft.
And
And I
knowing
know
history too.
and knowing history a lot. And like the millennial generation seems to like if we had the money, we would so want um I think we could definitely bring it back if millennials had money, you know what I mean?
And
Because I think
mean-
that a lot of our generation wants to do those kind of traditions. Like I saw a lot of TikToks recently about complaining about that there's no trick or treating.
Yeah.
yeah, like this generation, I like that they're so insightful because they know that like baby boomers try to basically brainwash millennials into believing that this history is the history and nothing became before this and everything that they've done is original and not stolen from anywhere.
Millennials are what Christianity actually should be, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not saying millennials as a whole, because we all have our shitty members. Duh. But, like, from what I see, mostly, millennials are, I will give you the shirt off my back if I can. If it would help you, absolutely. They
Well,
want
see-
community. They want to be able to go out and be with people and be with their friends and help people when they can. We just don't have the means because boomers suck.
Well, see, that's a cultural thing throughout history. When economies or shortages, any type of scarcity happens to humanity, they tend to turn away from the physical and focus more on the spiritual. The difference is with this generation, with millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha, we are not forcing ourselves or our children into churches. We are finding that spirituality on our own through
Yep.
other means, through absorbing other cultural values and spirits and things of that nature. So it's that freedom of expression that is happening.
The funny part is, I think it actually a lot about. I think the shittiness, despite shitty horror movies and all that kind of stuff, but the love of Halloween, commercial Halloween, and like horror movies and haunted houses and all that stuff does inspire more of a traditional love of Halloween because you start to get interested when you just have a love of a holiday.
Yes. Or
So-
even just a love of a feeling that it gives you.
Yes, so let's bring it back to horror movies for Mia.
Horror movies became significant around, yeah, you guessed it, mid 20th century. Wow, it's like there's a pattern here or something. Everything suddenly resurged in the mid 20th century. How did that come about? Anyway,
Time
Movies.
Warner.
Wow. Movies like Dracula, The Mummy, and Frankenstein were staples to starting the trend of movies that provided a thrilling chill, a fearful and suspense atmosphere, and a source of entertainment for those with a fascination for the supernatural and the unknown. It's been almost a century since the tradition began, and it still runs strong to this day. So every year, Halloween enjoyers will go back to the classic movies that still give them a spooky feeling and embrace the new ones that integrate today's culture within them. Since the correlation with Halloween comes from horror due to its supposed scary nature, quote unquote, it's been ingrained in those who celebrate the holiday often that they need a spine tingling feeling to experience what Halloween has truly become. Or you can just be a cute little person who enjoys watching stuff like Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town and Twitches. It doesn't necessarily have to be horror, but it at least captures the essence of Halloween.
And remember
pop
that
culture.
the tradition of telling scary stories is from Samhain. So horror films are right in line with that shit.
Yep. Although, side comment, I do feel like Twitches has barely anything to do with Halloween.
It doesn't.
It's Tia Tamara's character's birthday, and that is pretty much it.
Listen,
Yeah, but
when
it's
you
fun.
see witches in pop culture and media, you think, oh, Halloween, spooky, haha.
That's true. So they were cute witches, so it's like a good display of witchcraft, you know what I mean?
Who's your favorite twin? Who's your favorite twin on the Mowry sisters?
Tia.
I have to agree, Tia.
Yeah, Tia.
Yeah, it's the
Sorry,
solid
Tamara.
Tia.
It's just Tia.
It's just Tia, man. Something about her, man.
Tamara listening right now. What the fuck?
We love you.
So sorry.
We just like Tia more.
We love you just the same. But
So yes, if you are celebrating Halloween or even just in the mood to get into that festive season, break out and aren't in the mood of getting scared, break out the Disney classics of Halloween Town and things of that nature. Or hell, if you have it and you're a kid like me, find your Charmed box set and run that shit on repeat.
Yes, Charmed. I love Charmed.
speaking of getting scared, if you are into getting scared and physically scared, where should you go, Mia?
Haunted houses and other attractions that are spooky too.
I love haunted houses.
Small disclaimer on this one, I have something to say about one in particular.
I've never been to a haunted house, but
Yeah, we have to go one day.
Together.
Oh, yeah.
we should. Okay, we're doing
We
that.
should
That's
make a
planned.
plan.
We're gonna do it now.
Yes.
Haunted houses have many cultural influences, such as Celtic and European folklore, various Asian ghost stories, African and Caribbean folklore, Native American beliefs, and like so many other cultures outside of those. It became popular in 1970s. Well, actually, Disney Haunted Mansion came out of I think it was 1969. But
And then the popularity blew.
yeah, it was like around the 1970s that it became big mainstream and influenced mainstream culture. And around that time too, a lot of people and communities began making haunted houses too. So anybody that really couldn't afford to go to Disneyland's haunted mansions could at least have an experience in their local neighborhoods and stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool because they're bringing this spooky feeling to a spooky season. It was to provide a spooky and immersive experience for people who are interested in the mystical unknown without actually having to personally experience the presence of ghosts and otherworldly beings with no experience, possibly putting themselves in danger without proper precautions, because there are some haunted houses that make you sign a waiver, even with actors that are allowed to just do whatever they want with you, and, you know, because you signed the contract, you kind of just have to take it. But you're not actually experiencing like the true spirits and everything. It's mostly just actors, but there are some real haunted houses that people pay real money for to like spend the night and listen to ghost activities and stuff like that.
I would love to do one of those too. I'm not gonna lie.
This is where I have the disclaimer, because there is one in particular, and this one specific haunted house does have that waiver, but that waiver is also inclusive of we can injure you, force you to eat things, put you through basic torture, and if you die, it is not our fault when you sign this.
Well,
Isn't it like $10,000 thing?
No, this is a haunted house you can enter with a donation of a can of dog food.
What?
It is known as McCamey Manor, and it has been kicked out of like 3 states at this point, and it has a waiver that is like 5 pages long, and I don't think it's actually legally able to be held up, but it says they can do everything from like stuff bugs in your mouth and make you throw up to shaving your head and breaking bones.
Oh, no, sure. That's not my type of Halloween house. No, thank you.
It is hardcore, just like something that is developed for somebody's sick game there.
That's not even horror. That's just disgusting.
That's just torture. That's just someone getting off on torturing people. That's not even a haunted house. I wouldn't even brought it up.
And it's still around, and it had its roots originally as like a family haunted house. Like the McCamey family actually used to be a thing where it was just like a neighborhood haunted house with a special effects artist who was making all like the scares and stuff. It started out really cute, really fun, and like kid friendly. Now, the special effects artist went through a divorce and lost custody of his kids, and now it's this.
Now we know why. We know why. We know
fighting.
Why.
If I go insane and I decide that I wanted to visit McCamey Manor, I'm swinging. I'm fighting.
I would swing immediately. Fuck you. I'm
they
not
will
eating
swing
shit.
back. There are
good.
cases.
I don't give a fuck.
There are multiple cases.
Let them case
especially if that waiver ain't be able to upheld in court. Bring it on. Swing at me, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I'll sue you for every dollar you're worth.
Right.
So yes, if you're looking for a haunted house this season and you see like an ad from that, or you see you know they are in your area, do not do it. No.
However, you should support your local haunted houses, because I got one right up the street I'm going to this weekend, actually.
Cute and family friendly.
Yes, we have one at our community center that's run every year, and I'm definitely going this year.
Yeah, it's like, try to support your local businesses, especially your small local haunted houses, because it's all like your local high school kids, and they're just having the time of their life. You can know it. Making random people scared. Alright, now we can go back into movies and Halloweens that we tangented for a little bit. Tangented?
Yes.
What?
Good old Hollywood Halloween.
I do have to admit, one of my favorite Halloween movies is Hocus Pocus.
Yes, I love Hocus Pocus so much.
The sequel, not so much. They waited too long on it, and it's hella weak.
The sequel did not hold up to the original at all.
No. It's good camp, good old time, but it was not the original.
Like, it's cute.
I enjoyed it, and it was cute, and I love seeing them all together, because they still have that chemistry. They do.
They did, yeah.
And, it still had the same chemistry. But the other actors...
Was in a bottle.
But the other actors didn't hit as hard as the original ones.
Yeah. Lightning in a bottle, sadly.
Yeah. It's one of those things
but the original holds up so well.
It's so good to watch.
I love timeless movies like that.
Plus, it's one of those movies where it's just like, it's got a little bit of scare in it, but the spirit of Halloween is all the way through it, so it's good for almost everyone to watch.
Absolutely. I think it's a great Halloween movie to watch.
There's also, for me, which one is your favorite Halloween town? Because I'm gonna be real, Halloween Town University was like, it was okay to me. I liked it.
I don't think I've seen Halloween Town University.
I have not seen Halloween Town University. I've only seen the first two, I believe.
And Halloween Town 2.
And out of those two, I would say it's the first one.
Yeah, Halloween Town 2 was weak.
Yeah, it was hardcore weak. And I think that's why I never watched the other ones, because I was disappointed in the second one. I didn't want to push it any further.
Return to Halloween Town. Apparently there was a Halloween Town High?
Yeah, that was the one where they brought over Halloween Town residents into the mortal world.
Oh, shit.
And that one I actually thought was cute.
It sounds like it could be. I might actually have to check that out.
Halloween Town binge marathon! Right after the Charmed binge marathon!
That's fair. Actually, I would love to do a Halloween Town bitch marathon with y'all guys. That'd be fun as fuck.
Paige was best Hallowell sister, don't at me.
I actually have another confession. I've never seen much of Charmed.
That is so cool.
Oh.
Okay. Listen, my exposure to Charmed was waking up in the morning and my mom had on, what was it? What was the channel it came on? TNT. It came on TNT.
Yeah.
And every morning I would just hear, I am the sun.
I have that song in my Spotify and I love it.
Me too. I actually found it funny that that was a song that was in The Craft first, but it's known because of Charmed.
Oh shit, it was in The Craft. I remember that
The
song.
Craft needs more watching. You should
Yeah,
watch The
actually.
Craft if you're listening to this. Watch The Craft.
The
Right?
That's a
Craft
good-
is
that's
so
a-
good.
That's a great movie to get into, for sure.
It also teaches you how to bind someone from doing harm to others.
Wasn't there another movie recently or series that like had real curses in it?
There's actually been a few. So
gonna say,
despite
yeah.
the Hollywoodization of Wicca and things of that nature, a few movies sneak in actual spell work once in a while.
They're
weird.
bold for that. They're real bold for that.
Yeah,
For
like
real.
the craft teaches you how to bind someone, whether that be a spirit or someone from harming yourself.
I'm convinced
or
Buffy
others.
said. I'm convinced some of the Buffy shit was real.
Buffy had talisman and dowsing work.
Oh yeah, they did have talisman work. Shit, I should go back and watch that.
Charmed taught you how to scry because they use real scrying.
Oh shit.
It also taught you how to spellcraft.
Oh shit.
That's so dope. I love those. Like, I like that they keep.
I hope you're all taking
authentic
notes
things.
out there. These are like ways to learn shit while watching TV.
And like there is one it's a Netflix show, it's called Lockwood and Co. It's a British like supernatural show. It shows you a sword dance for clearing negative energy, and it's a real thing.
That's awesome. That's so dope.
That's so dope. For real. I might have to go. Where's that at? Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. I don't have Netflix. I've just pirated it like a fucking fiend.
Also, it's just a really good show.
Haha, that was a joke. Just for the record. FBI watching.
Right. The FBI is learning how to spellcraft because they need to
Just for the
know
record, I
what
have
to
a friend on
do.
Discord. I have a friend on Discord that their tag is literally the FBI, and I went, oh, never mind. I don't want no feds. No, thank you.
Look, I would not be surprised if there was a sect of the FBI that's just like, we are the occult research division.
Oh, no, there absolutely is. Oh, no. Hold up. There absolutely is. There's the occult practices in the government. Don't even. They
But are they
practice
doing
all
it
that
right?
shit.
Are
Absolutely.
they doing it right?
Absolutely. There's no way they're not protected as fuck. When you think
They're
about
set
it,
up like the
they
meta letters
all-
from Supernatural.
they all use astrology. There's no way.
Astrology's so awesome.
But
Business CEOs use astrology. Like the billionaires, absolutely use astrology.
So
I believe
that covers the Hollywoodification as well as the, well, sort of leaning into the corporatization of Halloween.
Yeah.
How do you think we can bring back the spirits, the old traditions?
Do
I
your
honestly-
research. Learn your history.
And I think that honestly, just indulging in the old school, even the commercialized practices of Halloween will help bring back, because all of it's rooted in Samhain. All of it.
True.
Everything that is commercialized Halloween is rooted in Samhain history. So even
And
carving a pumpkin, Samhain.
leaving the candle lit at the end of the night.
Samhain. It's like trick-or-treating. That would be great to bring back. And I think, in truth, that there's a lot of hope for this generation if they just had the means.
Yes. And hey, if you're of Irish or Scottish even sometimes Dutch, because they Middle Europe like wandered around a lot. But if you are
Remember, also French people apparently they celebrated
yes.
as well.
But yes, if you're of Middle European descent, feel free to ask your grandparents, your parents, aunts, uncles, if they had any special Halloween traditions that just sort of got lost after time. See if you can revive them, make a new one. If you're not part of those descents, see if there's a tradition of your family or cultural celebration of that area that you live in. See if you can revive it.
If you're Hispanic, Day of the Dead, just get involved in that.
Absolutely.
In all traditions, there is a version of Halloween. We were just talking about the specific Celtic version because that's the witches' calendar. But there's always... I just think that embracing the spirit of Halloween in any sort of fashion will help you bring a more connection to the spirits.
Exactly. And if you don't have any old traditions or lost traditions that can be revived, start a new one. You'd be surprised how much fun it is to come up with something special just for your family, you and your partner, yourself.
I would love
caring for others and yourself.
I would love for us to have our own tradition, the three of us.
I would love that too. Do you think we should come up with one live here?
My brain ain't brain enough for that right now.
That's a lot of brain power, man. And we just went through
we can workshop it.
Yeah, we can workshop it. That'll be on the list because I would love for us to develop our own little practices for all of the things. The holidays of the witch's calendar. Words. See, brain not braining.
Right. Who got the brain cell today?
I don't know.
I think it's me.
I think you do have the brain cell today.
Damn.
But I think that truthfully, there's a lot of hope for this generation, just for the future in terms of connecting with their ancestors and spirit guides and wanting to be involved in these kind of traditional fun holiday things. I see a lot of complaints about there not being any Halloween spirit.
Yeah, it's a little sad, but everything's...
they suffocate us with Christmas.
Something, everything's dangerous. Don't go outside. No one is offering candy anymore because no one can afford it. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's so many reasons. So I think that once we have the means, it'll start to change.
Exactly.
The old system has to fall first. Well, anyway, I think we've gone well over our time.
Yes. But this is a special episode. We're allowed.
That's true. It is a very special episode, and we need to talk as much as we can. But I think we can wrap it up. Who learned something today? I learned something today.
Me.
I most definitely learned a lot of shit today, actually. I got a notebook full of shit that I learned.
That ritual made me feel real good.
Same. I got a little emotional during Mia's part because hers was so personal. I might have to do it just off the cuff next time.
You know what? I feel like that is valid just for how we work in general.
I was like, damn. That felt like hers felt real good to just sit and listen to. So I was like, damn, maybe the next time we do a ritual, I might just have to do it off the cuff. Because I think I just speak better off the cuff.
For sure. But tonight we talked about traditional Samhain. I did it again. I'm back to Danish!
That's it.
I'm going to the mountains!
You were already dead. Now you don't even get to come back. You are not getting...
It's over.
I just got knocked back in the karmic cycle.
You're not getting
3
reborn.
spots in line.
Oh, God.
Tell Stingy Jack I said, hey, go get your lantern made out of a turnip.
I'm the headless horseman. I'm gonna be on Sleepy Hollow. I'm gonna be the headless horseman.
A story to tell all generations. Ah, yes, this is the story about Stingy Baji, who pronounced Samhain as Samhain twice, and now he roams the world
in some random podcast.
Exactly. We talked about the traditional Samhain. We led our ritual. We also talked about the history as well as modern Halloween and its differences. and how Hollywood affected it, horror movies, haunted houses, and bringing back the spirit. I would like to thank everyone who came to listen to us tonight and joined us in this ritual if you lit your own candle and had your own message for us. What do we have coming up next, Space?
Oh, what is in the list? We're kind of recording this out of order, so I'm actually not sure where this is going to fall in terms of
I do believe
episode.
that our second one will be about Fandom Fridays.
Oh, hooray!
Yeah, so this is going to come? Yeah, this is going to come before the Fandom Friday, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what's going to be coming up next is actually our, you're going to learn about all of our interests in terms of fandoms. We're going to cover all kinds from, of course, Japanese, called anime, manga, but we're also going to dive into some K-pop for, who in this.
Excuse me, like you don't like K-pop too. Don't you even try to shirk that onto me. How dare you?
What is it?
It's
A term where you get really adorable people that make music but in Korean.
I like K-pop. I do like some.
Oh yeah, that one song by Rain. Dancing in Korean.
We don't talk about Rain. No, we do not.
Why? What did you do?
That's okay, when we cover Fandom Fridays.
We already did.
We already recorded that shit, bitch.
Well, long story short, so we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk. Yeah, tell me later. Okay,
this is the wrong episode for it. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later. If you want to know our thoughts on that, we'll do an episode about it. Okay. But that's gonna be. We already recorded that episode, but then we've got. I'm pretty sure that it's the meditation episode after that. So we've got some good topics coming up. I'm really excited for you guys to hear the meditation episode. I think it went really great.
Oh, yes, because that's the one where we stayed on structure and didn't go off topic 17.
You're right, absolutely. So let's wrap this shit up because we're going off topic again. Oh, of course we are.
Of course. And for tonight, for our little ending note here, last time I did a section of our grimoire with the spell I wrote out for all of you to cut away bindings. But tonight I have less of a spell and more of a message. I tend to end every stream and every recording of this cast with the message of stay safe. And in this season, as well as at any other time in modern society, it becomes more and more important that I say that. Because whether you're going out for a walk, enjoying part of your day, or just doing something that you have to do to get through life, what I want you to know is that your mental health is what matters most. Your physical health is what matters most. Your health in general and those of that who you care about is what matters most. So if it ever comes down to a situation where you're having a difficult time or you're having an issue, reach out to somebody that can help. Reach out to someone who you can talk to and you feel safe with. Because at the end of the day, I want you to know that every time I wish it to you, I genuinely hope that you stay safe. So until next time, the door is open to those that explore. The door is closed to those that ignore. We say goodnight, but not goodbye, for all of our stars are here to shine. Stay safe.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you next time. Thanks for coming.